Queer.
But what does that mean?
What does it mean?
What does she mean?
What does they them mean?
What does cis man mean?
What does pan, gay, trans, lesbian,
Drag queen, cross-dresser, non-binary, asexual,
Bisexual? Demisexual?
really sexual, not too sexual, aside
gender fluid,
G
B,
LGBT+,
Q,
I
A.
cis this and she, he, that.
What a lifestyle.
And homo she didn't.
What are pronouns?
What is questioning?
FTM, F2M,
M2F, MTF,
Two spirit? Agender?
abrosexual,
an ally, a romantic, a bear,
A twink? Butch? Closeted?
coming out, straight acting,
drag, femme, intersex,
Into sex? Omnigender?
out, scoliosexual,
queer,
queer.
Queer? What does anything mean?
Hey Alexa, what's the definition of queer?
According to Wikipedia, queer is an umbrella term for sexual and gender minorities who are not heterosexual or are not cisgender.
But I'm not just that. You can't define me.
This isn't something you can just Google.
This isn't something you can ask your friend for the answer.
This isn't something you can just ask and find out.
It's all about attraction, identity,
Heritage, culture,
Emotions, life experiences,
trauma, exploring, and most importantly, love.
and what better people to tell you about it than us?
the
V,
LGBTQ plus community.
with the A's to your Q's,
but we're also the G's,
The T's,
the L's,
the P's,
the B's,
the I's,
and the queer mouths that you need to understand.
or not understand us.
and to find out about our stories.
So sit tight and let's get talking queer.
Queer is somebody who thinks differently, dresses differently. Could be transsexual, could be male or female. It could be someone who dates a male or a female. It could be somebody who chooses to change sex. It could be somebody male to female, female to male. It could be men dressed as fairies. It could be people dressed in historic clothing or theatrical clothing. They just choose to be a bit different.
Queer is the power we feel because we know society won't accept us. It's the feeling of knowing we are unique and we are born different. Because we are queer. Queer is me. It's you. It's us. It's them. It's everybody who identifies as different.
Queer is that word that can only describe someone. It cannot define someone, and it cannot brand them. It means many things. You cannot define it. So don't define me, because I am unique and I am queer.
Queer is being different from a heteronormative world. It is someone who is not afraid to stand out from the crowd. It is someone whose differences should make them proud. Queer definition, me.
Hello, my name is Megan and I am a queer.
Hello, my name is Josephine and I'm queer.
Hello, my name is Chantal, and I'm a queer.
Hello, my name is Kian and I'm a queer. A a dyke, a bumboy, a
Raging homosexual.
A weirdo.
muncher, a gobbler, a muncher,
Liquor. A freak. Confused.
Gender bender, freak of nature, predator,
Queerdo, a lady boy, a tranny.
troll, puff, fairy.
Look. Right.
Imagine you're walking to the shop for milk and you're in your best element because you're thinking about that TV show that you're going to watch later. Or you have that dance class that you love, or that dinner that mum's cooking and it's your favourite. Or you're thinking of that special person that you love the most. Or maybe your bed is the best part of your day and it's all you can think about. And then imagine
You did nothing wrong. You walked to the shop, you bought that milk, walked out of the shop, walked home, and then was shouted at, abused, beaten, traumatized, left to bleed, murdered, in pain. That's what we go through, mentally and physically. That's the reality.
Orlando. Stonewall. Oslo. Terrorism against the queer community. Have you seen this stuff? That was all real. Targeting us. But I'm not saying you died.
almost died, walking the dark city streets like those men. That would be silly. But what if? What if I did die? What if some twat in a branded outfit didn't agree with what trousers I was wearing that day, or the eyeliner that complemented my boots? Didn't satisfy the evil-looking homophobe at that dodgy bus stop everyone avoids, and they lash out trying their own version of traumatic conversion therapy.
Out comes the homophobe, and their knife has been drawn. Punches are thrown, and your life has been torn. Scream, slash, dead. For some of us queers, this is the reality. The idea of hate scares us and scars us. The hate crimes that cause our fear in the media, cause our fear on the streets, cause our fear in our schools, cause our fear in our workplace, in our homes, in our beds, on our phones, in our head. Yes, because it's all in our heads. At least that's what the doctor said.
why are people like this? Not the queers, obviously, but the spiteful abusers that walk the streets, own the streets. Is it down to the pure humanity of today's world? Is this pure human nature in play? Before 1969, it was illegal to be gay in the UK. I would be arrested if this was the 60s. All of us would be, and for what? Hetero privilege, hetero preference, a heteronormative society. Is that the boring world that you want? Where's the love in that?
I mean, we currently live in a world where the Minister of Inequalities was the Prime Minister of the entire country. She did nothing before her reign for equality, and she did nothing in her reign for equality. All they care about is money. Let us last longer than her. She wasn't beaten, abused, traumatized. She isn't one of us. What will they think next? Nobody chose her. So why should she choose us? That's politics, I'm afraid.
Talking about the government, why is trans conversion therapy not banned yet? What's there to argue? We've seen the statistics. Ban it for everybody. Ban it for every gender. Ban it for every sexuality. Ban it for me. Ban it for them. Ban it for him. Ban it for male to female and female to male. Abolish it. They're not banning talking therapy for trans people, but we've stopped talking about it. That's how the world works.
We get told to shut up, locked away in our box in our heads, and forgotten about. Don't retaliate. Don't react. Don't tell anyone. Don't start. And don't go mental. They always do. Who the are you to tell me that when we're not the problem? A study showed that LGBTQ plus young people who have been exposed to conversion therapy were more than twice likely to report attempting suicide following the experience.
1 in 8 LGBTQ plus people aged 18 to 24 had attempted to end their life in 2020. Tell me where the problem. Go on.
So, hear it from a queer mouth. A mouth that's open for debate.
We're open for discussion. There's no need to wipe the slate.
We're not here to be put down. We're not here to be misled.
We're not here to be forgotten. What's been said has been said.
We're here to fix it before it's too late. We're here to put the world to right.
We're here to listen and educate. We're here to love, not fight.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm gay and trans. I originally thought I was a lesbian because a lot of what people think about lesbians is tied to gender. They think if you're masculine, then, or if you're a tomboy, then they stereotype you as a lesbian. So I thought I was a lesbian, and then realised, hey, I don't like girls. So, and also I wanted to be a guy, and now I am.
Happens that too.
When I was choosing a name, I looked at them baby name websites, and I looked at all the names and I made a list. And first off, I called myself Max for like a week, and I decided that was boring. And then I went by Seth for a while, and then I realised I wasn't a Seth because I'm not cool enough. And then I decided on Nathan, and that stuck, so now I'm Nathan. I went on testosterone over 3 years ago, and I had top surgery a year ago. Yay. And now I don't hate myself anymore.
Hi, I'm Chantel. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Essex. And I'm queer! I'm out and I am proud. But how did I get to this? I hear you ask through the screen. Well, great question. Let me tell you. Looking back, there were so many signs that I wasn't the straightest line in a notebook. I first started to question my sexuality when I was around 13 years old. There was this girl in my drama group who was super gorgeous and really sweet. We became friends really quickly and started to message nearly every day. Until after a while, our messages became a little bit more flirty, and she sent the message, "What would you do if I kissed you?" I freaked out, I started blushing, and then the penny dropped. I might not be straight. I took all the Am I Gay quizzes in hopes it would just tell me my sexuality, but that didn't work, obviously, and it just left me really confused. I didn't think that it was normal to feel that way towards another woman. It became one of my biggest secrets. And if anyone even insinuated that I was gay, I would become super defensive. But it was always on the back of my mind. So I continued to educate myself on all things queer until 1 year ago, I was ready to tell everyone I live my life in colour. I'm still very much a baby gay and have so much more self-exploring to do. But I'm so glad to finally say, I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm proud. A piece of advice I would give is don't rush yourself. Everyone learns at their own pace, and even if you don't know your identity right now, that's okay. Be kind and, yeah, love yourself.
Hi, I'm Megan and I am from Birmingham. I'm 21 years old and I identify as bisexual. When I was a teenager is the first time I actually realised I was really attracted to women as well as men. After watching the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I was obsessed with the TV show. And I remember the two main lesbian characters on the TV show was who I was attracted to most. But at the time I still didn't quite understand. I thought I just appreciated women and not fancied women. It wasn't really anything that went through my brain that maybe I was bisexual. Being bisexual isn't something I always talk about, not because I'm ashamed of it, but I just don't feel like that is my personality. I know it is who I am, but it's not something I just say to people. Like, I told my flatmate the other day that I was bisexual and he was shocked. I think the fun thing about being bisexual is you can feel a certain way towards anyone and be like, yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter. Like, I fancy you or I fancy her, and it is what it is, and you don't have to explain yourself. At the end of the day, you are who you are. If you're queer, you can say it loud and proud, or you can think it in your head. Just love yourself. As RuPaul once said, love yourself. Because how the hell are you going to love anybody else? Can I get an amen up in here?
Amen!
Woo!
Now let the music play.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hi, I'm Josephine. I'm 37 and I'm from Coventry. I am cis female and bisexual. I told my father. He said he already knew that because he knew me very well. So I felt I had to inhibit my sexuality because I was in a born-again Christian school and there was heteronormative going on. Gays were called fags and weirdos, so I had to keep it down. Things became very clear. I realised I was very unhappy, and I realised the school was the wrong place to be. The turning point was my mum moved to Melbourne, where it's a very open-minded culture, and they don't like homophobia, and they're very strict about people who don't like gays. So that was the turning point. I was more aware that the friendships I had were homophobic. You couldn't be an atheist, and I learnt that I had to clamp down on who I hung around with, and when and where.
For your own personal
Protection, yes. Yeah. I think I agree with RuPaul. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone. And once you start to love yourself, the light shines your way, and you can see where all the unhealthy relationships are, because otherwise you need them to survive, and that's codependency. I didn't know that. If I'd have known that when I was younger, what codependency was. It's a disorder which means you just lynch onto anybody. Yeah, it's not good.
Hello, my name is Kian. I come from Lincoln and I identify as a gay man. So when I first knew I was gay, I was quite closeted and had many girlfriends until I was like age 12. And then from then, it was kind of like just constantly trying to fit in after I came out. For the rest of like my younger teen life, I had to kind of try and fit in as much as I could, even though I definitely couldn't fit in because I was a bit too queer. But as I became more independent and putting myself in places where I actually wanted to be, I moved into the theatre career lifestyle, and I started to actively surround myself with better people and communities, which helped me to fit in more, and I couldn't be happier. And as I grew older, I always expected that as a gay man, I would have to sleep around with loads of men, and I'd have to go clubbing all the time, and I'd have to be really open to this and really open to that, and I'd have a really dark side or kinky side. But the way I live my life is the complete opposite, and I just do that by choice because I shouldn't have to. I've always strived to fit in, so when I was trying to fit in into the queer community, I thought I had to be one thing, but it's completely different, and it's up to you or up to me. If I had a piece of advice to give to a younger queer person, I would say that if you ever have any concern or any sort of problem or issue, or just generally just want to go and have a chat with someone, if you're in school or if you're in another environment somewhere where you feel like you can talk, just go and talk, because there's no reason not to. There's no one telling you that you can't go and speak to someone because of, there's literally no reason why you can't go and talk to someone about anything, whether you have an issue or not. It's just nice to be able to go and talk to people. And people have problems where if you don't tell people about your problems, they'll get left and they'll build up, and one day it will just all be in one big massive explosion. So speak to someone.